Welcome to the final day of what has been an amazing India Global Week. We've been overwhelmed with your positive response to the conference, and in fact, you're already asking when our next event will be. Stay tuned to us today, and for more, visit indiaincgroup.com. To reiterate what we heard from Manoj Ladwa just a moment ago, India Inc. believes in building great winning partnerships, and you are all terrific partners. If you missed any of the sessions this week or want your friends to see the replays, log back in to indiaglobalweek.com and you'll be able to see and share those sessions. Keep tweeting us, India Incorp, and use our hashtag #BeTheRevival. Now, we are continuing our discovery of Jammu and Kashmir. This next session will celebrate successful stories of men and women from the region and diaspora. We'll look at their journeys, how they made a mark for themselves, what challenges they face, and how they plan to help others in their success going forward. I'm delighted now to reintroduce to you journalist Kaveri Bamzai. She's a former editor of India Today and the author of No Regrets, the guilt-free woman's guide to a good life. She will introduce her next panel.
As I said, I'm also a proud daughter of Kashmir, so I'm delighted to be welcoming such a wonderful panel. I'll go to Ashwath because he's possibly the best known face of the Valley. Ashwath Bhatt, who we last saw in Razi and in Kesari, wonderful performances. Ashwath, you left the Valley as a 14-year-old in very difficult circumstances, but you have not let that affect your makeup, your mental makeup, and that's quite a remarkable thing. You've been able to tell the story of Kashmir in these polarized times with a lot of empathy. And you've also handled a lot of young children. You know about the mental health issues, but you also know the potential of the youngsters in Kashmir. So tell us a little about all this, because you're you wear, as you said, as I always say, you wear many hats.
Yeah. Hi, Kaveri. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'll be quick because we don't have much time.
Right.
So yes, as you said that I do wear many hats. And my experience in Kashmir has been very mixed, in the sense, like, of course, you meet people who are very optimistic and people who are full of pessimism, which goes for every place. But whenever I have been to Kashmir, I went to Kashmir in 2006, first time after leaving in 1990. And I came from England and I said, I want to go back and see my birthplace and meet my friends again, meet my people who are there, or family, friends and stuff. So it was very moving, and then suddenly I felt very connected the moment I landed there, because it was a lot of apprehension what will happen after 16 years. But it's just the moment I landed, I felt like I had never left. Of course, many things had changed, but it never felt like I had ever left. It felt I never left. So during the course of these years, of course, I've been going back for research and doing film shoots and writing, and I was writing Lamha as well with Rahul Dolakia, as everybody knows. So, but my experience, which I felt, was that there's so much talent in the Valley, and I come across that talent in Bombay as well and other places. And I think we'll be the only place where our I think tourism minister is a famous cinematographer.
Yeah.
So it's very.
That's Tawfiq, right?
Yeah, Tasadduq. Yeah, Tasadduq.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that it's very strange that we have so much of talent pool, but problem is that what I see is that we need a certain kind of, we have to brush up the skills and provide training for people. When I travel to other institutions in India and outside, I always see so much potential back home or back in the Valley and my state, J&K. And I meet people from Jammu as well, a lot of students. I have taught many students from Jammu as well at various institutions, in Film Institute, Pune, or other places. So that is one aspect. That what I would clearly say, that yes, we should have some kind of an film school should be set up in Jammu and Kashmir, film school like in Haryana and other places. We should have this high time so that we can provide proper training, and the talent itself will not help. Second thing, what I would say is that I also feel that because Kashmir has always been in this Bollywood and filming, people have been going there for the last 60 years. So I feel there should be a film council should be there, and there should be film. It's a shame that we don't produce films. Even a state like Assam produces films, and small states like Odisha produces films. So why can't we produce film? We have great stories to tell. We have even difficult stories to tell. We have a lot to say. Where we lack is that resources and also providing the technical know-how and equipments and stuff, and which can be done, which where government can come in and private players can also come in. That is number two, which I would like to stress, because we have very less time. So I want to be very brief quickly,
Yes,
and say what I need to say, because so that I can make my point, because I don't know anybody's, you will be able to come back to me. Apart from that, what I would say is that using art as therapy, because I have been, because I'm very passionate about education and very passionate about children, because I feel whatever has happened in past has happened. We have to move ahead, and I believe that very strongly in my personal life and also in my professional life, as well as my, I see life in that sense, like we cannot change past, but we can make difference to our future, and we are not going to be on this earth forever. Especially in COVID times, we all realize that now.
Yeah.
Certainly, who was not aware about those things, we are very much facing very difficult situation these days. We have difficult news all the time. But what I will say is that art is therapy, which in schools I feel should be implemented, and which can be done, which we did. I brought Clown Without Borders Germany to Kashmir. It took me 3 years to bring them, or to work with children who are stone pelters, or right now, then I have been always making projects in Kashmir and Jammu. People in Jammu used to tell me, "Aap sab Kashmiri jate hain, you always go to Kashmir." So then last year we started a project with this camps in Jagti with the children, and Sponsor a Kid and other. We're trying to help this school there very actively these days, fundraising. And apart from that, also what happened
I'd just like to quickly bring in Dr. Salam here, because there are two sides to every story, and Dr. Salam has also faced a lot of the trauma of the last few years. But Dr. Salam, you've also, like Ashwath, not let it bring you down, and you were the first woman from the Valley to qualify in the UPSC. You're now Assistant Commissioner, Income Tax, Jammu. Your father was abducted and disabled by militants, but how have you channeled your energies into working for the state, especially in terms of the women of Kashmir?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to bring out my
right.
Dr.
Salam, we can't hear you
short
very
that he was injured.
Yeah. Sanjay, can I?
Am I audible?
No. Can you just fix the audio a bit, Dr. Salam? Meanwhile, I'll quickly ask Sanjay about, one of the things that Ashwath talked about, which was the Film Commission. And you, as CCO of Abu Dhabi Media, have been advocating for a Kashmir Film Commission. Do you want to talk a little about that, Sanjay?
So, namaskar, adab, good afternoon.
And you've also faced, as a 23-year-old, as you told me, you had to leave
right.
in the middle of the night with nothing. So you've
That's
seen
right.
the worst as well. But let's talk about what the hope is.
A couple of lines before that about what we did. Born and raised in Kashmir, very much a Kashmir ka bacha. I love its sheen as much as I love its summers. The very moment Kashmir gets spoken about, it brings a heart to the boil for many reasons, good and bad. I would agree with Ashwath. Kashmiris are great actors, taciturn at times, but generally good. The Bond is a very well-known theatre that we exported from Kashmir onwards. So as a 23-year-old strapping young man, I faced militancy, my father, mother, everybody. But did we give into it? No, we did not give into it. We fought it back. We looked at its own eyes and then stared at it and said, you know what, we'll do better than what you did to us. The word terrorism, not anybody else. And we got educated, and we went all over the place. We finished our education. When I say we, I mean I'm referring to my family. Got educated, went around, and worked in some of the finest organizations that my life has been able to give me. Way back in 2001, the first time I did something back in Kashmir was a small project on the Sharda as a dying script. This was done by Discovery Channel. I used to work for Discovery Channel. And that was my aim of giving something back and reviving a little bit of Sharda, because Sharda, as you know, is literally like a dead script. This project was done under the aegis of Discovery, and I kind of pushed the Sharda theme. That was one which kind of made me rethink about what we need to give back to the valley and to our own place. Yes, I work for a film commission, Abu Dhabi Film Commission, and as Ashwath was saying, very much lacing towards what needs to be done. Kashmir was discovered literally by Raj Kapoor and his family, in the sense of on the cellulite,
and Yash Chopra,
and then Mr. Yash Chopra, and I genuinely feel, and I feel a lot of people will democratically say this, that Kashmir is certainly far better looking than the pristine Switzerland in terms of its shoot schemes. I have been a Biscu school boy, and because of that, I have traveled the length and breadth of Kashmir. I have seen all the 15 lakes on the glaciers as they exist, and I know exactly what the landscape of the place is. And I feel that it's right time and high time that one of the revival methods is to bring back a film commission in Kashmir. That will kickstart a lot of jobs. That will kickstart a lot of money getting flowing in into people, and that will bring Kashmir back to a beautiful boil. There are bad ways of boiling, and there are good ways of boiling. Kashmir needs to come back to its original self, and I feel all of us need to kind of do our little bit to kind of do this. And Film Commission, I raise my hand. Anytime people want to set it up there, I'll be the first guy to go in and help them. Secondly, I feel the initiative that my wife runs, which is a initiative for kids with special needs, which is derived from my own family. My child is a special needs child. She runs an institute along with a fellow Kashmiri lady here in Dubai. And I feel there is a space where a lot of people with mental health issues in Kashmir can draw inspiration from this institute called Tender Hearts. It's an amazing initiative run by two Kashmiri women. And that can go.
Ashwath, then you should connect on that for sure. Dr. Salam, we have you back. So can you quickly tell us what your journey has taught you and what you want to do to pay it forward?
As I told you before, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I had a personal, onslaught by the ongoing militancy in 90s. And that taught me a very valuable lesson. I've seen it myself, as have other people who unfortunately had to leave the valley. Things turned so bad, and I was a kid that time. And there was despair everywhere. And somehow it was only my parents who could support me. And I went on to clear the UPSC, the civil services. And there was this perception which I had earlier on, before my father, he was working in the Doordarshan, Government of India, before he was abducted. I had certain perceptions, incorporated inside my mind, that whatever is there about the state, it is completely wrong. But afterwards, whatever happened to our family, the perception was, it was gone overnight. And somehow I felt that we are heading towards the wrong path. And then I went on to study. Despite all the problems, despite all the shutdowns, all the incidents happening around the valley, I went on to study. I cleared the UPSC, and now I serve as an inspiration for young girls, especially being a female, being the first female in Kashmir Valley. And there are certain things, like I'm in the administration right now. I am a Deputy Commissioner, Income Tax Jammu. And we try to raise awareness side by side. While going on with our administrative work, we try to raise awareness about trust building between the state and the people.
Right.
And that we have been doing over social media. I receive my share of brick pats from people, who don't agree with my opinions. But then we have to go on and we have to build that trust. As the other worthy speaker said, that it's an ongoing process. And development is not just about infrastructure, it's also about removing the perceptions. And there is a big lacuna on that front in the Valley of Kashmir especially. So I'm working on that front. I'm teaching girls. I'm bringing them closer to the Constitution of India. And there are my colleagues out there in different other departments, working for the government. And we have brought ourselves together on one platform. and we keep on constantly teaching, inspiring, and guiding young aspirants to write civil services exams.
Right.
And somehow, if tomorrow one more person gets selected, definitely that person is going to spread awareness about all the wrong perceptions, that the state does not trust you, or there is some kind of discrimination around, which is not true. So that is how I'm going about it, and it has really helped me personally. At the same time, I'm having that courage to carry on this work, as long as I'm alive.
You're a very brave woman, and I think hats off to you. And I think one point that you made would resonate with Manu. Manu, you also talked about inclusive development, and somewhere the voice of the Dogras was lost, and you've really given it a shape and a platform. Do you want to talk a little about that and what really can be done to make Kashmir a soft power, a true soft power?
Yeah, thank you, Kaveri. Wonderful to be here. I think this is a success story. Me as a Dogra from Jammu being on this panel today. So I would like to quote one of my favorite inspirations, who is Chimamanda Adichie, the Nigerian writer. When she spoke about the danger of a single story, it struck every chord with me.
Yeah,
because this single story on Jammu and Kashmir made me and people from the Jammu region, and when I say Jammu, I mean from Katwa to Punch and beyond, these people became invisible. They became absolutely unheard. And I think the biggest empowerment of anybody is being heard and being seen. And this was missing for Jammu. Kashmir was the only story. And what you hear and what you read is what you become. So it became, for me, it was about identity crisis. It was also about an angst in the Jammu region of the Dogra youth, of the Gujar, Bakarwal, of the Pahadi youth. It became an angst which I felt that had to be directed into some sort of positivity. And in the face of a lack of political will to bring us on the same platform, recognize us as credible stakeholders, it was very lucky for us that we got the social media boom at a certain time where we could use these alternative platforms to tell our story. So I would agree with Ashwath on that part, that I see myself as a storyteller more than an activist, because all I'm doing is telling stories. And it's a two-way process, because it's an internal process as well. If you go around the Jammu region, there is so much natural beauty, there is so much potential, there is the potential for tourism, there is a potential to become a health and wellness destination, there is a potential for border tourism, there is a potential for so many things. And so it's about bringing these stories, telling these positive stories from the region, including them in this entire, the image that Jammu and Kashmir is. Yeah. This became the focus. This needs to be done. It's not going to happen quickly, because it's been 70 years of discrimination. So internally, we need to sort of empower ourselves. We need to tell our children of the local history, make them feel proud, make them feel that they belong and they are recognized. Externally, it's my request to everybody who is listening to give a platform to widen the discussion on Jammu and Kashmir, to not drop the J from the J and K, and then you will probably see more positivity. There'll be, the regional schisms that you see, that will also be healed, that will be cured. So that is really, really the need right now.
Wonderfully put again. I think reconciliation really is the need of the time. I saw Sahil there smiling when you talked about Jammu, but really, as director of the J&K Startups Association, along with Ishan, what are the challenges that you face as a startup, and how do you make Kashmir an IT power?
Hi. Thank you, Kaveri, for giving us a wonderful opportunity. Me being a pharmacist, stepped out of Jammu in around 2000, and I left to Bangalore. And every time people used to tell us, like, you belong to Jammu, so bring us some good positivity out of Jammu. So we thought, me along with my partner, so we thought that let's bring out positivity in terms of the indigenous food of Jammu and Kashmir. So we were only famous for walnut and our Kashmiri kesar and Kishtwar ka kesar. So we thought, why don't we bring a platform in 2009 and bring Jammu Kashmir out of our town and bring more positivity. So we connected with the growers and farmers and we bring out a big revival, not only in terms of sales, in terms of connecting with the farmers and understanding their main issue, like what they face in trade. They face a lot of money crunch during trading with the commission agents in the mandi, in the APMC market. So we connected them very well, and we have been successful in doing that. So while doing that, I started this in Mumbai, and just within 6 months of startup, I moved back to my state, thinking that if I can bring positivity for my state, so why don't I bring more empowerment to my youth? Because we in Jammu Kashmir, we see that youth always struggles for a government jobs, right? The government jobs, banking sector. So, and there's always a negativity like why government is not providing us a job. So we, along with bunch of entrepreneurs, we created a forum, that is JK, Jammu Kashmir Startup Association Forum, wherein we empower the aspiring entrepreneurs. We make a forum available for them to get the motivational stories, tell them what world is doing, what we can do better, how can we create a better ecosystem in our Jammu, so that we are not dependent on the government itself, right? So we have been successful in doing that. In this Corona times only, we have been able to mentor around 8 to 10 startups, and we have been successfully completing those pilot phases. So I think more of
you've raised employment as well in these times.
Yeah. Employment is the biggest issue, and many youth are totally dependent on government jobs. So if we create a better ecosystem here in terms of startup, because see, we were not connected with the rest of India as the India used to grow, right? For example, if you talk about the corporate culture, we don't have anything here because no industry was working here. We were a handful of bunch of chemical industries, pharmaceutical industries. So if we give a good corporate setup here, empower youth to bring out change through startup policies and making new startups. For example, it's a raw market. If you talk about Jammu, especially Jammu, for example, if I talk about it, so see, we have been seeing that there's a huge demand of Kashmiri handicrafts, right? So if you come out sometime in Jammu, so we can give you a live experience about the Basoli painting, Basoli art. So there is a Aknoor, there is a very good setup was done during Maharaja's time. They used to bring very nice printed bed sheets, curtains. So that thing needs to be revived because it has been dead because of several reasons. And now if we are talking about the revival and the success stories, these can bring actually very big change. And then in terms of agriculture sector, if we can bring in more equipments, more fashionable research projects in our state. I just give you one last example. If you go Australia or New Zealand, you see pecan nuts and hazelnuts. We have been successful in getting that from the Poonch sector. So there's a huge opportunity. We can grow cranberries here, we can grow blueberries here, we can grow Brazil nuts. The only thing is we need to create more such success stories so that people can be morally, boosted, and then they can work in our culture.
Ishan, may I bring you in here and talk about these opportunities? But how do you use technology in an environment where you still have 2G?
So, ma'am, basically, I was born in a village, Mangnad. It's in District Poonch on the Indo-Pak border. So I can see Pakistan every single day.
Wonderful.
And I had a huge cultural diversity. My mother is a Kashmiri Pandit and my father is a Pahadi from Dogra region.
Right.
So my wife is a Punjabi. So my whole life had been into multiple cultures. Diversity was always a part of it. So when I moved to my childhood was in this small town of Poonch. Then after that I moved to for my graduation to Jammu. And slowly and steadily, when I went into this entrepreneurial spirit and I started working on my venture, I went to IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad. We have been through so many competitions like Tata First Dot, Eureka by IIT Bombay, India Innovation Growth Program. So I thought, if a small town boy born in a village in the remotest district of India could do all this stuff, so we can help a lot of kids come together, help each other, use the experience of the already existing entrepreneurs. And probably we were a bunch of first generation entrepreneurs, so we had no financial backing or the technology backing or anything like that. So we said, if we all guys could come together, so we could create a whole ecosystem for everyone. Not only Jammu, not only Kashmir. So it has to be entire Jammu and Kashmir, including Ladakh.
Right.
So that was the idea behind Jammu and Kashmir Startups Association. And another challenge that we were facing was like in terms of policy at the government level. So governments never recognize startups. They always recognize industries, industrialists.
Yeah.
They never recognize anybody as a startup. The J&K state startup policy is in paper since 2018 and it has not been on ground. It's almost 2020 is ending up. So we all came together. We said, like, enough of challenges that we are having now. Right now, we all need to get together and solve all these problems. So me, Sahil, Vaibhav, Arush, Shivani, we all guys came together. So we decided to form this Startups Association. And within a period of like 5 months, we have been able to do a lot more. We have taken up sessions at various colleges. We have been interacting with around 3,000 students until now. Even in the morning, we had a session with around 150 students. We brought up around 12 startups during this COVID crisis. We raised that. So we created a lot more opportunities for the youth than just dragging them towards the negativity in the region or the whatever is happening back there.
Thank you so much. We have precisely 1 minute left for each participant to tell me one specific thing that you'd like to change or that you'd like to do in your lifetime to change the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Ashwath, can I start with you, please?
Yeah, I have to be very quick again because I want to say so many things. But I would say, like I kind of relate to what Ishan said, that a village boy can make it and make it around the world, then anybody can also have big dream, can have dreams, and they can fulfill their dreams. So I would say my biggest dream is to make people who have left, they can go back and settle back with dignity. But that will not happen because I'm not a politician. I'm not somebody who is into this rhetoric. But I'm somebody who practically works on the ground in my own way. And I feel we have to start, creating human contacts again, creating those bridges again, irrespective of whatever is happening, things will, you see, negativity will always exist. It's good and bad has to exist together. But somehow we have to find a way to go back and again create bridges, create new ventures. This is what I feel, and I think art has a huge potential, because after Roti Kapda and Makan, there's something. But art is for the soul, and it's also for that makes a difference in human beings. That's what I believe.
Sanjay?
I think people of Jammu and Kashmir, generally, I would say Jammu and Kashmir, need to relax a little more than what they have been doing. We genuinely need to have a smile on our face. I guess we all suffer from strange mental problems all the time because of all the things that have happened. And I'm not saying from a doctoral perspective or a medical perspective. I say generally we need to have a smile on our face. We need to utilize the beauty of Kangar and the beauty of Jammu in its conjunction, and Ladakh in its pristine glory. We need to tell people that our achievements, people who went out and achieved, and Dr. Sahiba, who's done an amazing job while being in the valley all the time. We want to tell people that personal successes are nothing but a reflection of community successes, because we are people from the community, right? If we succeed, the community succeeds. And this core group of people that needs to come around and welcome everybody together, they need to be told, you need to succeed, because then only the community will succeed, and then only Kashmir and Jammu and Ladakh will succeed. So draw from our personal inspirations and teach everybody else to. Again, as I say, we need to relax a little more.
Dr. Salam, what would your prescription be?
I'm currently working on two issues. One is raising awareness about the state, about what all rights it provides to you. That I'm doing by conducting seminars, by being very active on social media. I've been sharing some good news across the country, which is able to reach the people of the valley and J&K all over. That is one thing I'm working on. Another thing is that whenever I have time, I teach small girls, I teach young girls, and I encourage them to come out of their ambit and try their hand at achieving success, by qualifying civil services exam. Because a civil servant has a great role in development. And at the same time, by working on these two issues, I'm also trying to be a good person, a better person each and every day. Because as Mr. Ashwit and Mr. Sanjay said, Ashwit specifically, he talked about, changing the perception. He talked about the work of art, everything can be achieved. And then Mr. Sanjay also that we need to relax a bit. Absolutely, negativity will be there. And relaxing, there are lots of things. Mr. Ashwit, he has been in the movies, and a message has gone to the people. People in Valley who watch movies. And Mr. Sanjay also, because he said we need to relax and we need to understand that the only way to go ahead is to develop ourselves, in every possible way.
Agree. Manu, quickly, and then I'll get the two Varmas. We have very little time here. Yeah.
Yes, very quickly. I think between I Have a Dream and to the point of Arise and Act, we've done a lot as Voice of Dogras, telling all the stories from Jammu region. And I presently am writing a book on the Shakti worship. It is the land of Shiva and Shakti. I'm writing that, and I possibly see a future circuit, tour circuit coming out of this book. So I really, really hope that Jammu is seen for what it is. Jammu and Kashmir is seen for more than, it's not milked only for its sorrow and its conflict. It's seen for its positive stories. And I invite everyone to this land of Shiva, Shakti and Nagas. Please come to Jammu, give it a platform and tell a happy story about Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah. Ishan and Sahil, and then we end. Quickly.
So for us, it will be like within next 5 years, we'll turn J&K into the next biggest startup hub. And there is an initiative that we are working on. It's called Startups Beyond the Cities.
Right.
So we are going to take the startup ecosystem to every single town of entire Jammu and Kashmir.
Wonderful. Sahil?
Yeah, I'll be working very closely with the government. I'll be working on agriculture and horticulture sector. And I wish we'll be able to make it to the reconciliation of Jammu and Kashmir together.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you all very much. It's such a wonderful story to hear of reconciliation, of hope, of inclusiveness, and all the very best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kaveri, one thing.
Yes.
I just want to say one line. I want to say, from my experiences, Kashmir, I know of Jammu as Jammu is as well, but I know about Kashmir one thing very clearly, that people are really desperate for a breather. They are desperate for entertainment. They are desperate to get it out, and that is something people are not getting. And I think that is a very important thing.
Films, Ashwat, films.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you make the films, I'll review them. Thank you.
And ma'am, Shri Mata Vaishno Devi University has one initiative specifically for women entrepreneurs. It's called Shepreneur. So to support women entrepreneurs in the region, they have specifically put out this initiative along with JKSA. So we would request all the listeners to join and make this a mass movement across all the women, across all the ages in Jammu and Kashmir.
Thank you very much, all of you. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Namaskar.
Incredible there to hear the stories of people who have survived and thrived from tough moments, and really incredible. I love that moment about not milking Jammu and Kashmir for stories of sorrow and hardship, but learning from positive stories of startups, films, art, inclusive development, and all those from the sons and daughters of Jammu and Kashmir. Thanks so much to Kaveri for moderating so many interesting stories on that panel. And up next, Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh.